In C++, we have another kind of loop called a while loop. Now, anything we can do with a for loop, we can also do with a while loop, but our code is going to look a little bit different. Here's an example. Let's use a for loop to print the numbers 1 to 5. So we say for int I set to 1. While I is less than or equal to 5, then we're going to increment I after each iteration. Now over here, we're going to print I followed by an endl. So when we run the program, we get the numbers 1 to 5. Perfect. Now let's see how we can rewrite this example using a while loop. So we start with the while keyword, then in parentheses we type a Boolean expression or a condition. As long as this condition is true, the statements that we add in our while loop are going to get executed. Now in this case, our condition is going to be I less than or equal to 5. So I'm going to copy that and paste it right here. Now in while loops, unlike for loops, we cannot declare a loop variable. We have to declare our loop variable before the while loop. So I'm going to copy this code and paste it here. Now, here we can have one or more statements. If we have many statements, we need to wrap them in braces, okay? So in the body of this loop, first we're going to print I, followed by endl, and then we're going to increment I. So this is the translation of our for loop using a while loop. As you can see, this code is a little bit more verbose. So in situations where we know ahead of time how many times we want to repeat something, in this case 5, it's preferred to use a for loop. Our code ends up looking shorter and more concise. While loops are useful when we don't know ahead of time how many times we want to repeat something. For example, let's say we want to ask the user to enter a number between 1 to 5. If the user enters a number outside this range, we're going to repeat our question. And we're going to repeat this as long as the user enters an invalid value. So in this case, we don't know how many times we're going to ask the user to enter a number between 1 to 5. Let's see how we can code this scenario. So I'm going to delete everything. So first we declare an integer called number and initialize it to 0. Now, using a while loop, we're going to continuously ask the user to enter a number between 1 to 5. So our condition is going to be something like this. While number is less than 1, or it's going to be greater than 5, that means this is an invalid number. It's outside of our range. In this case, we're going to print number and ask the user to enter a number. So we read the number. Now let's run our program. So if I enter 0, I keep getting this question. 10, the same question. But if I enter a value between 1 to 5, like 4, the program terminates. Now we can improve this program by displaying an error message. So after we read the number, then we can write an if statement. So if number is less than 1 or it's greater than 5, then we can print enter a number between 1 and 5, followed by an endl. Now let's run the program one more time. So if we enter 0, we get the error. If we enter again, the same error message. So here, we don't know how many times we're going to ask the user to enter a valid number. This is a good case for using a while loop. Now, there is a tiny problem in this implementation. The problem is that we have repeated this condition in 2 places. So if our business requirements change in the future, there are 2 places we have to update. Now, later in this section, we'll look at a better way to solve this problem. Now, here's your exercise. I want you to declare a secret number and then using a while loop, continuously ask the user to guess the secret number. So here's the output of this program. In this program, I have hard-coded the value of 7 as my secret number. So if I enter any other values, I keep getting asked for a number. But the moment I enter 7, the program terminates. So spend a few minutes on this, then come back see my solution. All right, here we need 2 variables. One of them is secret, which we initialize to 7. The other is the user's guess, which we initialize to 0. Now we need to use a while loop to continuously ask the user to guess the secret. But what is our condition? Well, we're going to do this while guess is not equal to secret. In the body of this loop, we're going to print a message, guess. Then using cin, we read the number into guess. So if the user enters 7 in the next iteration, this condition is going to be invalid and our program terminates. Otherwise, we're going to keep asking the user to guess the number. It was really simple. Take a look. So run 4, 5, 6, 7. There you go.